Have you ever walked into a room and instantly thought, she's lying and she looked away? Or he must be nervous. Look at how he's fidgeting. We've all done it. We think we're body language experts. We read crossed arms as defensive, lack of eye contact as dishonest, and folded legs as closed off. But what if I told you that many of these rules we've been taught aren't backed by science at all? In fact, they're often wrong. Body language isn't a universal language. It's messy, it's personal, it's cultural, and it's deeply misunderstood. Today, we're counting down the top 7 body language myths you still believe, but science disagrees. If you've ever second-guessed your own behavior or judged someone else for theirs, this list might just change how you see people forever. Let's begin. Number 7. Crossing your arms. Means you're closed off or defensive, raise your hand if someone's ever told you to uncross your arms during a conversation. The idea is everywhere, in meetings, job interviews, even therapy sessions. We've been trained to believe that crossed arms signal resistance, defensiveness, or unwillingness to connect. But here's the truth. Crossed arms can just mean you're cold, or comfortable, or thinking. A study from the University of Illinois found that people often cross their arms simply because it feels natural, especially in unfamiliar or overstimulating environments. And get this, when researchers observed people waiting in airports, elevators, and waiting rooms, the most common resting pose was, yep, crossed arms. Why? Because our bodies aren't always signaling intention. Sometimes they're just trying to feel okay. In fact, when people are trying to focus or calm themselves, crossing the arms can serve as a self-soothing gesture, a way to physically ground ourselves. So next time you see someone with their arms crossed, don't jump to conclusions. They might just be thinking, or tired, or keeping themselves warm in a freezing office. Number 6. Liars always avoid eye contact. This one feels like common sense, right? We're told that honesty is eye contact, that guilt looks away, that if someone breaks eye contact, they're hiding something. But science doesn't quite agree. In fact, multiple studies, including one published in the journal Law and Human Behavior, show that liars often maintain eye contact longer than truth tellers. Why? Because they're trying to appear convincing. They've heard the same myths you have, and they're consciously overcorrecting. Meanwhile, many truthful people, especially those who are shy, anxious, autistic, or culturally different, may avoid eye contact naturally. Not because they're lying, but because they're overwhelmed. In some cultures, direct eye contact is actually seen as disrespectful, especially toward elders or authority figures. So when we judge truthfulness based on gaze, we risk misunderstanding people who simply function differently. Here's a better way to tell if someone's lying. Look for inconsistencies in their story, not in their eyeballs. Because body language isn't a lie detector, and eye contact, it's not as revealing as we think. Number 5. Fidgeting means you're nervous or dishonest. We've all heard it. In classrooms, job interviews, dates, fidgeting is labeled as suspicious, distracted, anxious. But what if I told you it's also deeply human? Fidgeting is a natural regulation mechanism. When we tap our foot, bounce our knee, twirl our hair, we're often trying to manage sensory input, stay alert, or relieve emotional tension. Neuroscientist Dr. John Rady suggests that physical movement, even small, helps the brain regulate attention and emotion. And for people with ADHD or anxiety, fidgeting isn't a sign of lying or discomfort. It's a coping strategy. In fact, a study from the University of Hertfordshire found that people who were most truthful in interviews were often more physically animated than those who lied. That's right. Stillness can sometimes be the real red flag. Liars tend to control their bodies too tightly. They freeze, they edit. They try to seem normal. So the next time someone's fidgeting in a meeting or tapping their fingers during a tough conversation, pause before you judge. They might not be nervous or untrustworthy. They might just be human. Number 4. Mirroring body language means they like you. You've probably seen this one in dating advice videos. If they mirror your posture, they're totally into you. Mirroring or unconsciously copying someone's gestures, tone, or body position is often seen as a sign of attraction, but it's more complicated than that. Mirroring is a sign of rapport, yes, but that doesn't automatically mean romantic interest. We mirror people we feel connected to. That can be a friend, coworker, family member, even a therapist. And sometimes we mirror people out of habit, not emotion. Studies from the field of social psychology suggest that mirroring is more about social coordination than romantic cues. It's your brain saying, hey, let's sync up, let's belong. Also, some people are just natural mimics. It's part of their personality. So if someone mirrors your body language, they might be into you. Or they might just be polite, or empathetic, or trying to keep the conversation smooth. Instead of relying on mirroring as a sign of love or attraction, pay attention to consistency, tone, and emotional presence. Because liking someone isn't always about crossed legs or copied hand gestures, it's about how they make you feel. Number 3, smiling means someone's happy. Smiles are powerful. They can calm tension, build trust, and change the entire tone of a room. But here's the twist. Not all smiles are created equal. There's the genuine smile, what psychologists call the Duchenne smile, involving the mouth and the eyes. And then there are social smiles, the ones we wear to please, to deflect, to hide. In one landmark study, researchers found that people smiled more when they felt obligated to be polite than when they were actually happy. Smiling can be a mask, especially for women, eyes who are often socialized to smile even when uncomfortable or angry. And people in customer service roles, they smile more during stress than during peace. So what does this mean? It means you can't judge someone's emotional state based on their smile alone. Sometimes we smile to survive, to diffuse, to avoid confrontation. Behind every smile, there might be exhaustion, heartbreak, or fear. Instead of assuming a smile means happiness, try listening for what isn't being said, because the most important cues are often the quiet ones. Number 2, confident people stand tall and use big gestures. We've all heard about power poses, Maria. The idea that standing like Superman for 2 minutes can make you feel and look more confident. It was popularized by a TED Talk and spread like wildfire through business seminars and self-help books. But science has since taken a second look. Follow-up studies, including one published in Psychological Science, found that while power posing might change how others see you briefly, it doesn't significantly change how you feel about yourself in the long term. Confidence, it turns out, isn't about size. It's about authenticity. Some confident people speak softly, some fidget, some slouch, and many anxious people can put on a great show with wide gestures, big laughs, and commanding stances, while crumbling inside. Confidence isn't a pose. It's a presence. It's feeling secure enough to be yourself, even if that self is quiet, awkward, or still figuring things out. So don't fake it till you make it. Feel it as you grow into it. Number 1, you can read someone's body language to know their truth. This might be the biggest myth of all, that if you just watch closely, you can uncover someone's true emotions. That body language is a kind of lie detector, that the truth is in their hands, their feet, their blink rate. But here's the reality. Body language isn't a one-size-fits-all language. It's influenced by personality, neurodiversity, trauma, culture, and context. Someone might avoid eye contact because they were raised to be respectful, not because they're lying. Someone might pace while talking because they're autistic, not because they're guilty. Someone might smile while discussing trauma because it's their only way to stay composed. And yes, someone might freeze up, fidget, or stammer and still be telling the absolute truth. Human behavior is complex. So when we assume someone's body language tells us everything about them, we risk misunderstanding who they really are. The real skill isn't learning to read people. It's learning to listen without assumption. It's asking instead of assuming. It's giving grace instead of judgment. It's remembering that what we see is only part of the story. So what do we do with all this? Well, maybe we stop trying to decode people like puzzles. Maybe we start asking instead of guessing. Start listening to what someone says, and not just what we think their body is really saying. Because the truth is, body language matters, but it's not magic, and it's not a script written in stone. It's fluid, it's personal, it's layered, and most of all, it's human. If this video made you rethink even one body language myth you believed, then you're already closer to being more compassionate, more curious, and more understanding. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, consider sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, people aren't always what they seem, but they're always more than we think.